The Darkest Night and the Rising Sun, a story of overcoming depression. The beginning of the storm. There was once a man named Ethan who seemed to have everything: an education, a good job, and friends who cared about him. But deep inside, he felt like he was drowning in a sea of darkness. Every morning, he woke up with a heavy chest and a tired mind. The things that once made him happy, music, books, conversations, felt meaningless. He lost interest in life. His thoughts were filled with questions like, why do I feel this way? What's the point of everything? Will I ever be happy again? At first, he thought it was just a bad phase, something that would go away on its own. But weeks turned into months, and the darkness only grew stronger. He stopped talking to people, started missing work, and even thought about giving up on life. One evening, as he sat alone in his apartment, staring at the wall, he felt like he had reached his breaking point. He had two choices: let the darkness consume him or fight back. This is the story of how Ethan chose to fight back. 1. Accepting that something was wrong. Ethan's first step to recovery was acceptance. For the longest time, he had ignored his feelings, believing that admitting he was struggling made him weak. But one night, he whispered to himself, "I am not okay, and that's okay." Saying those words out loud felt like lifting a weight off his chest. He realized that just like physical illness, mental struggles were real and valid. He didn't have to pretend to be fine. 2. Finding someone to talk to. For months, Ethan had isolated himself. Depression had convinced him that no one cared, but that wasn't true. He forced himself to do something difficult. He picked up the phone and called his old friend, Leo. At first, he hesitated. What if Leo thought he was being dramatic? But instead, Leo listened without judgment. He didn't try to fix Ethan's problems. He simply reminded him that he wasn't alone. That conversation didn't cure Ethan, but it was the first time in months that he felt understood. It gave him the courage to open up to others, to his sister, his coworker, and even a therapist. Talking about his pain didn't make it disappear overnight, but it weakened its power over him. 3. Small steps, big changes. Ethan had spent months trapped in a cycle of negativity, staying in bed all day, skipping meals, avoiding the world. But now he decided to take small steps toward change. He forced himself to go outside for at least 10 minutes a day. He wrote down one thing he was grateful for every night. He cut down on social media, realizing that comparing his life to others only made him feel worse. He replaced negative self-talk with small affirmations. Instead of saying, "I'm worthless," he tried, "I am doing my best, and that's enough." At first, these actions felt pointless, but slowly they started making a difference. The small steps turned into a new routine, and his mind began to heal. Habit 4. Exercising and eating right. One day, Ethan read something that stuck with him. Your body and mind are connected. Take care of one, and the other will follow. He decided to test it. He started waking up early and going for short walks. At first, he hated it, but as the days passed, he noticed a change. His energy improved, his mind felt clearer, and he started sleeping better. He also began paying attention to what he ate. Instead of surviving on junk food and coffee, he started eating more fruits, vegetables, and drinking enough water. The changes were small, but the impact was huge. For the first time in months, he felt a little stronger. 5. Finding purpose again. Depression had taken away Ethan's sense of purpose, but now he started looking for meaning in small things. He volunteered at a local shelter, helping people in need. Seeing their smiles gave him a sense of fulfillment. He picked up his old love for painting, something he had abandoned years ago. Expressing himself through art became his therapy. He set small goals, like reading one book a month or learning a new skill. Having something to look forward to made a difference. Purpose didn't come from one big thing. It came from small, meaningful actions every day. 6. Understanding that healing is not linear. Ethan's journey wasn't perfect. Some days the darkness still came back. Some nights he still felt empty. But now he understood something important. Healing is not a straight path. Some days are better than others, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep going. Every time he felt like giving up, he reminded himself of how far he had come. The boy who couldn't get out of bed was now walking outside. The man who felt alone was now reconnecting with people. The person who saw no future was now dreaming again. He wasn't cured overnight, but he was stronger than his struggles. One morning, Ethan stood by his window watching the sunrise. For the first time in a long time, he felt something he thought was lost forever. Hope. He smiled, knowing that the journey wasn't over, but he was no longer lost. He had found his way back to himself. Moral of the story: if you're struggling with depression, remember, you are not alone. Small steps lead to big changes. Your pain does not define you. Healing takes time, but it is possible. Like Ethan, you can rise again.